Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to On the Town with Tanya, and I am your host. Thank you so much for coming back. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's right. You know what I'm about. So I want to welcome you guys today. Thank you so much for coming back. Today's episode is Mindful Grieving, a Healing Space. So this episode is inspired by my new book, Mindful Grieving in the Journey of Loss. The show is dedicated to those who have lost a child, a sibling, a spouse, or even a loved one. And for those who are seeking tools and community during the hardest time of their life. In this space, I hope that we, gently explore the emotional landscape of grief and learn how mindfulness can help us breathe through pain. We can find stillness in sorrow and begin the long walk toward healing. Whether you're navigating fresh loss or learning to live with it years later, I still mourn the loss of my brother. This podcast hopefully will offer you compassion, connection, and a coping strategy to help you feel seen, supported, and never alone. So I welcome and I hope to give you 10 insights that I learned that are in my book. And you can get the book. I'll have the description up there anytime. And I always tell people if you're, financially disabled, you're senior, certain people, of course, I would always, send you a PDF copy if needed, because I don't want anybody to not get the lesson, especially, when someone dies. It's like the most torturous thing. And I know it is because I've been losing my brother. And I'll just share my personal experience. Losing my brother, Rob, was devastating. Like I cannot tell you, because as a foster kid, what do? You build these things in your head, like I'm going to do this because of that, right? So because our mom had to give us away, uh, Rob stayed with me in foster care wherever I went. And so we were always together. So 41 years was just, even if he was in Alaska, I knew he was there. I knew somebody had my back. So when he died, it was like, oh my gosh, that means I don't have somebody has my back anymore, and he's not here. Like he's the person I always went to call, and I knew wouldn't judge me. If he did, he'd do it under his breath, right? So that's why it was so. It was like losing a mother, basically. I mean, as a matter of fact, I probably had more pain from losing him than I did my actual birth mother. So no offense, but that was our what do you call that, trauma bonding? I don't know what you call that, but I call it a sibling bond. So and I can imagine we'll talk about that more later. Any sibling, mom, there's roles that we play, and when that role is taken away, it's like, okay, where do we go from here? So, first one I want to talk about. Let's see, I made some banners for you guys. If you have questions, please feel free to ask because it's all a learning curve. So the first thing I want to talk about is understanding grief and its emotional impact. Grief after losing a child or a sibling, it's not just sadness, right? It's a complex emotional journey that's filled with guilt, numbness, anger, deep sorrow. So my book, opens basically talking about, validating these emotions and exploring how deeply this kind of loss can affect us. And don't take it for granted because, you know, it is, it's something that affects all of us, death, whether we like it or not. We all got to go at some point. But how do you deal with it is the question. Always keep that in your mind. It's not, when they go. Some people go as babies, and we don't want that. But maybe they created because of because they were here. They actually bonded people that would have never bonded. Right? We don't see the little tiny little things, but there's little things that there's always some blessing they had on our lives. Always, I say that, and that's even with the bad people. I can't see it sometimes, but I'm sure maybe they got laws changed because they were bad. I mean, not they got laws changed, but because they did something bad, they activated someone else to get some laws changed, which save other people's lives. You don't know. We just don't know, and I don't even ask anymore. I just figure out what can I do for my due diligence to heal myself and to heal others. That's basically what I do. So, so let's see. The second thing I want to talk about is understanding grief and its emotional impact. That's very heavy because it does have an emotional impact. In my book, I emphasize the loss of a child presents very distinct and profound grief. Like I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, Rob was like my child, so I kind of feel that for somebody because it was like I can't explain it. It's just a pain that you just cannot shake, right? It took me 5 years to get through it. And I still, if I start thinking about it too long, I'm like, whoa, I'm not going back to that space. So I still have to breathe, meditate. Okay, we got this, you know? It challenges our sense of order and it can deeply disrupt our identity as parents or as siblings, right? And you have to recognize this pain. That's the first step toward healing, is recognizing it. Because like I said before, we have titles that we give ourselves and our family members, right? All our lives. That's my mom. That's my brother. That's my husband. That's my wife. That's my best friend, right? And so if we've had them, like you're a parent and this is your 41-year-old that died, or this is your sister and you've been with them 41 years. That's like 41 years that we programmed ourselves to tell ourselves that this person means X, Y, and Z to us. And we can't even imagine living without them. Now, there's some cases where, excuse me, I have something in my throat, where we actually, I am all better. I am really all better. There are some cases where, like, so if someone has cancer, let's say, and we know in advance. So we get a couple years, or if we're lucky, 6 months, 2 months, something to get that grieving together and see what that looks like. It may not look good at all, but we get to see what that looks like. And then there's times like when my brother died, it was just random. Well, he had heart disease. So had he listened to the first heart attack, which he knew he had, but he didn't want to go because he thought it was something else and it wasn't. Then he would have probably had a stent and maybe lived 20 more years, maybe. But I just think that's God saying this was time for him to come home. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I didn't have no time to process. It didn't even cross my mind that this boy would ever pass on. Because, I don't know. I don't know why I would think that. I was thinking like the guys from Sesame Street, they sit and grow old together, right? And they make jokes. That was me. I was like, oh, that's going to be me and Rob for sure. We're going to be like 80, making jokes as people walk by. That's going to be us. So when that didn't happen, it was like, wait, what? Like, what do you mean dead? Like, that doesn't compute with me. It didn't compute because we had so many emotions tied to that, and that's in any family, in any friend. It's been that long. You had this. It's not like you just met them 2 days ago and they passed. Even that can be a shocker, But when you've had someone 41 years in your life, 50 years in your life, 160, not 100, 60 years, although my great grandfather lived to be 100, so maybe 100, that's like, well, what do we tell ourselves now that they're gone? Because they usually have some role in the family. It's hard. But you can work through it, okay? So you have to, I don't know what's going on with this. Oh, that's really weird. But okay. So here we go. I said the unique weight of losing a child. I did that one. So why is it doing that? Okay. So I did my little thing here on here. I don't know why. Using mindfulness. Oh, using mindfulness. Okay. So here's another one. Using mindfulness as a grieving tool. And you can ask questions if you'd like. I see somebody here. Hey, how are you? Tony, what's up? Hey, Norma. Hi. Thank you for starting. Yes. Hi. How are you? Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. Yeah. Where am I at? Trying to figure this out. Okay. So wait, which one's this? Okay. So I put these things here and I don't know. I don't think I did a good job, but that's another story. So I'm on 3. Mindful grievingness as a grieving tool. Okay. So in my book, I talk about mindfulness as a way to stay present. Observe your emotions like without judging them, not like, oh, I can't believe I'm feeling like this again. You're supposed to be feeling like that again. If that's what you're feeling, right? It's like, there's no judgment, right? Observe your emotions without judgment. Create a space to feel grief fully, meaning like, so, you wouldn't be in the middle of a grocery store because it's like not quite a place to be grieving fully, right? Someone's going to be like, are you okay, ma'am? So now let's stop your grief. If you're going to be at the pool, they're going to be like, are you okay, ma'am? No. But if you take a walk in the woods, you take a walk by the lake and just sit and let yourself allow that, or you sit in your room or wherever you want to sit that you find peaceful, that's okay. It's okay to cry for 4 hours if you feel like crying for 4 hours. There was, especially when it first happened. Are you kidding me? It's gonna be. Whew, I cannot tell you. I'm embarrassed. I would be embarrassed to tell you how much I cried and screamed the first year of my brother's death. It was like, how old are you, lady? Yeah, I felt like I don't know. But the truth is, there is no time limit. There isn't. There's no time limit. There's no, you do it different than I do it. Yours may be working out in the gym. Mine's may be crying. Hers may be knitting. It looks different, and it's okay. And it goes today up and tomorrow goes down. Ebb and flow is different. Everybody's different. Everything's different. It's okay no matter how you do it. Okay. So just remember that. You know, just be mindful of that. Um, you know, what was it? There's breath works you can do too, and body scans that help calm your nervous system, like in overwhelming moments. This guy taught us one, as you saw in my show. What was it? He was a That's a great one. Just 3 times, quick breaths. That helps just lower your not cortisol. I forgot what it's called, but it just helps lower that stressor that's going on that give you that anxiety. And you just have to know that you'll be okay. That this is okay. This is normal. There's nothing wrong with you. That this too shall pass. It may doesn't seem like that's a motorcycle passing. Sorry, doesn't seem like it at first when someone dies. Especially if you lost a child or a sibling. I mean, just people that were so dear and close to you. It's hard. It's very hard. I would not lie and say, oh yeah, this nope could take years. It took me 5 years. I'm going to keep it real. Okay, so this book that I wrote is a combination of things I've learned myself in therapy, as a counselor that I help other people, different modalities. So it's a bunch of stuff. I give some personal experiences that happen, stories that I know of. It's different things. But so meditation for healing. Meditation is very, very important, even without someone passing. It's just something that I think everybody in this lifetime should do. Okay, guided meditation practices, so they serve like as an emotional anchor, right? Okay, um, visualization meditations, they help connect the memory of the loved one, or grounding exercises to ease anxiety and all those intrusive thoughts that are going to pop up in your head. Because trust me, they will pop up. Like I should have did this, I could have did that, I would have, I did it, I could have, could. It's going to keep going. But when you learn to meditate, it teaches you how to, as they say in drug rehabs, bring it back. Right, in a group, they say bring it back when someone goes off the top topic. Teach you how to bring it back to what it's supposed to be at the moment. Okay, we have to learn to live in the moment. Okay, and meditation, whether it's yoga, whether it's just sitting like this with your hands. I always sit my hands up. That means I'm giving. I want things to be received. So I put my hands up. I don't ball them up like this. I put them out. I sit them up my lap like this up, or I lay in savasana like that. I lay down like that man's float, but I lay down and do that, and I breathe, or I just breathe regular. I just breathe because you have to learn to listen to what the universe is telling you. Sometimes that's complete silence. I love Quaker meeting for that one reason. 45 minutes of pure silence. I love it because I can hear, okay, this is what's going on. This is what I should be doing. That's what I should be doing. Just learn it. So guided meditation practices serve as emotional anchors. Remember this, okay? It keeps you grounded, okay? And it helps you with anxiety and intrusive thoughts. So don't forget that, okay? My favorite one in the book is honoring and memorializing a loved one. So healing doesn't mean forgetting about someone. Definitely not. We don't ever want to do that. So ideas for rituals, and I hate saying that word. I have a problem with that word. Memorials and meaningful ways to celebrate and remember your loved ones. So turning your memory into continuing bond. For instance, I planted a tree And every year on that date of death date and their birthday, we go and look and see this tree, how it's growing. Or we start a scholarship in their name, like I did for Rob. And every year we give it to some child that's in foster care that had the same situation as Rob and I. That makes your heart so full to be able to do something on their death date or birthday. And so now instead of boo hoo, it becomes, everyone in the family gets so stoked and so psyched that, are you ready? Who do we choose? Oh my God, it's so and so. Oh my gosh. So you want to go extra even out of your way now because somebody is so happy that they're benefiting from someone else with our loss. We turned it into a great memorialization, making it something that people will remember. That's a great, my brother Warren had his wife had a street named after him in the Bronx. How kind is that, right? So those are the things you want to do. Plant a tree, start a scholarship. And if you don't have a lot of money, if his friends love him so much, collect a little pot together and say, okay, we're going to donate this money. Who's most trustworthy? And on his death day, every year, his death day, we're going to get our coats together, old coats, shoes, or whatever, and go and give them down to the city shelters or wherever you live, wherever. I'm sure somebody needs help. We're going to donate the money to Palestine victims. I don't know. You can do it. There's so many things that you can do. If your kid was a firefighter, I'm going to donate to the firefighters every year on his birthday and on his passing date. And if you already did that, okay, we're going bigger and better now, Bunny. We're going to get all our friends together. And on this day, we're going to do X, Y, and Z to raise even more money. We're going to see how much money we can raise every year for our firefighters, because my daughter or whoever was one of them, my EMS daughter, whoever, whatever their cause was, doctor, whatever, lawyer. Trust me, once you start giving in your deceased one's name, it hits way different. Okay. It hits so different. You really start to say, oh, wow. Okay. You start breathing. Especially when you see the smile on the recipient's face. Okay. Let me tell you. Okay. When I had a girl once, she got Robert's scholarship and she said to me, she said, thank you for giving me the Robert Cooper Memorial Scholarship. It really means a lot to me. And I mean, if you saw her face, man, my whole world lit up. I can't even tell you. My whole world lit up because just the sincerity of her face, the way she said it was just, I knew I was touching someone's heart. I knew I was inspiring someone. And she ended up graduating, by the way, with her master's degree. So, and I have another one. So I have many that gave me, said, oh, wow, I'm glad I got to Robert Cooper. My other one just got her little master's in social work. I was like, go girl. So there's people that get inspired by those little tiny kind acts that you do in your loved one's name. That's memorialization. You got to remember them in a way that no one can possibly forget them after that. You know what I'm saying? It becomes a good thing on their day. Instead of crying and saying, oh no, this is the day it happened. It's like, this is the day it happened, but we're taking control. And this is what we're going to do on this day from now on. We're going to make this into something that will benefit someone else, because if they were here, they would want that. They will want their name to be remembered. My brother loved helping people. So anything with the homeless, especially foster kids, oh my gosh, he would be like, oh, Coop. He told me the day before he died, actually, Coop, get your book out. My other book I had, Surviving Foster Care, Making It Work for You. He said, get your book out. I don't care about what the editor said, because you got to get it out because you're going to save somebody's life. He told me that the night before he died. Now, where did he got that from? Did he know he was going to die? Maybe, I don't know. I think premonitionally he might have, because he said some things to me that was kind of weird. Like I was telling, he was living up in Plattsburgh, and he was like, Coop, don't worry. One day when you come up here, because I was like, I haven't seen you in I forgot how long it's been, 6 months. I hadn't seen him in a while. And so I was like, bro, what's good? You're way up there. How am I going to see you now? And you could have just came here, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yo, Coop, you'll see why I'm here. He says, where I'm at, I'm in heaven. And I was like, what? That's what he told me. I was like, and I thought I saved the video. I saved some of the video, but not all of it. But he said, I'm in heaven. I said, what you mean in heaven? And he was like, he said, you'll see when you come up here. And when I went up to claim his body, the hills looked like sleeping giants. That's how beautiful greenery it was. I was like, I felt like I was driving into heaven. I'm not kidding. Now, once I get into the town of Plattsburgh, that's another story when I saw the Confederate flags, but we won't go there. I digress. All right, we will go back to what we was talking about. So anyway, six. Where's my six? Okay. So parenting through grief. Now that is a hard one. So for all of you who've lost a child, I'm sorry. First of all, I send love to you. I send light to you. So for those with surviving children, grieving while continuing to parent is very, very unique, hard thing to do. Okay. Because you're grieving and then you've got to help them grieve because they lost their sibling who they're used to having arguments with. They teach them how to be strong, teach them how to defend themselves, teach them how to stand up, teach them confidence. And then you're grieving for your baby that you birthed into this world and it's your first or your second or your third or whatever, that's your baby. Like, so you're both at this vulnerable spot. Now, in my book, I share strategies for you to support children emotionally while giving yourself permission to grieve openly and authentically because it's okay to still grieve. You can still grieve. I'm not saying stop your grief and take care of the kids. No, you should be grieving together, actually. I talk about that in the book. You should be, having a family exercise that you do together, something, something that everybody knows. Okay, sorry, this is a motorcycle. Everybody's on the same page, right? Don't be like, oh, let her go over there and do her thing. No, if your daughter or son lives far away or out of the town or wherever, check on them. They are just as vulnerable as you are. And maybe sore because, now with that kid gone, remember, other kids may feel like there's pressure on me now. Now that this one's gone, and especially like in some cases where if that child was a favorite child or wasn't a favorite, or was a black sheep. I mean, it could be vice versa, right? Those are other things you got to think about that's going to play effect. So as a parent, deal with it. Deal with it as it is. No covering up. No need to candy coat nothing. This is how it is. Okay. We all can have a day together, cry together. Let's do a picnic together. Let's see what can we do to turn this into something good? You know what I'm saying? There's got to be a way. There's always a way. Okay. And they wouldn't want you sitting around moping over them. I could tell you that for sure. Okay. So, just remember that. Okay. Parenting through grief is very hard, but it can be done. And everybody needs to be on the same page. Husband, boyfriend, father, whoever you got, everybody on the same page. Okay. We have no time for drama when there's grief. Grief comes before the trauma. Okay. All that stuff gets put to the side till we get through this process because there are some people who are so caught up in the emotional part, rightfully so, that they may actually want to, harm themselves. And that's what you got to pay attention to. You got to be, especially young kids, they don't know how to process this. They don't know what's going on. They're not, I don't know why did they die? Who? Wait, what happened? Right? So you have to sometimes be stronger and say, I'm going to keep checking, do little checks on them. Because they may say, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do that. And it's normal. That's all normal. It's okay. There's no, no sin committed, nothing bad. Just we've got to check on each other as a family. Got to check on each other. Okay. So number 7. Okay. The power of community and support systems, which is what I'm talking about. Okay. This is everything. Okay. And now things are changing. Community's getting a little weird, a little different. Okay. But one thing I do remember growing up in Bedford Hills is that I loved my community. Even if people turned out later to be having their little issues, you know what I'm saying? Or be Trumpsters, that's fine too. Which doesn't mean that they're prejudiced. It just means that they're a little different. Some. Okay. Even with that, I still had good neighbors. Meaning, if Susie lost her mother, we'd bring a cake. Everybody bring a cake in the community. That's used to be the thing. It's not a thing anymore. But if someone moved in, you bring a cake, whatever. Now it's a little different. So I don't know how that works for everybody, but community can be a lot of things. Okay. Healing, it requires help. Okay. You can't just be like, I'm going to do it by myself. Good for you. That ain't going to work. That usually is a very lonely, long process. It can work, but it's lonely and long. Why? If you don't have to, right? I cannot stress enough the value of finding support. Okay. Through therapy, through Grief groups, spiritual mentors, or close friends. Any of the above will do, so that you don't carry the weight of loss alone. Okay? Because when you carry that alone, it's heavy. It is so heavy. And there's days where you might not make it. I've seen people who did not make it because they thought they could carry the weight by themselves. No, that's why God made friends. That's why God made family, so that you have another back system to go check. If that was, he didn't want that, or she, you would have been born by yourself and the world be all yours by yourself. That's how I feel, right? There will be nothing here. No animals, no trees, nothing, right? That's just my theory. So please rely on your community. It's very important. Okay. It will get you through, whether it's therapy, a group of friends. Find a bunch of mothers like yourself who lost their sibling or lost their child. There's tons of groups. You can make your own in your own community. You can make one online. There is no excuses. You can go on Facebook if you want to and make a group. You don't even need to have all that other stuff. There's places you can go. Zoom is free for half an hour. You can do a 20-minute group. I mean, whatever it takes. There's no excuses in today's society. Somewhere, somehow, there's free help for everybody. And you can inbox me if you're not sure about what that looks like. Okay? Inbox me if you're not sure. And if you really, need help, you really need the book, I can send it to your email. All I ask is that you leave me a great review. That's all. Just let me know. If you need something, you let me know. I got you. Nobody should be mourning by themselves at all, period. This world, there's too much going on here for you to be by yourself. You don't need to be. So why do it, honey? Why? When you got the community behind you. Okay, we're here for you. So if you sitting by yourself, it's because you want to be. There's plenty of people here for you that understand what grief looks like. Let us help you, right? Okay. And while I don't do counseling anymore, I'm still always counseling in some form or another. Always. So it's something that just stays with you forever. I don't know. You can't really get rid of it once you start helping people. It never goes away. Anyway, number 8, moments of joy are still possible, people. It is still possible that after losing your spouse, your child, your friend, your sibling, it is possible amid all that darkness. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to smile and feel moments of joy. It can happen, okay? Experiencing happiness after a loss is not a betrayal, guys, okay? It's a sign of resilience and life continuing, okay? Which is something we must all do when someone passes on. You got to continue. Because if you don't, now you just made that person's death sort of in vain. Like, now you're not here either because of what? Like, you have to ride through the pain. You have to, because we are all here for different reasons. Okay, my journey is not the same as my daughter's journeys. Neither one of my daughters. They all 3 of us got 3 different journeys, whether I like it or not. As a mom, I'd be like, they're mine forever. I want my babies here forever. Yes, I do, but I can't control that we're here as a journey. Ouch, excuse me, heard that crack. Ooh, that was my elbow. We're all here as a journey, and I can't control what your journey is, and you can't control what my journey is, right? But we have to stay resilient. We have to keep going no matter what. You may not feel like getting out of the bed today. That's okay. That's okay. Maybe tomorrow you want to get out and go for a walk, get some exercise, go for a walk. That's my thing. That's what I started doing too a lot when my brother passed, is working out and walking. I was riding my bike. It clears your head and it raises your endorphins in your brain. So you actually do get a high from running and road, whatever you do, walking, running, biking, whatever your thing. It's a great way to release stress. Okay. I just want you to know that. Okay. There's nothing wrong with you, and number 9, let's see, creating a new normal. A new normal. Life will never be the same, but it can still have meaning, guys. And this book, Mindful Grieving and the Journey of Loss, I try to offer you insights into adjusting to a new normal, one where your loved ones' memories live on and where your healing does not mean that you're forgetting them. Remember that, okay? Doesn't mean, it just means you're moving forward and you're going to start, remember them in a good way, and try to remember the good things and The why becomes, okay, what can I do to make this bearable? Okay, more bearable, let's say. You can create a new normal. Okay, it's up to you to decide, especially if you're a mom and you have other kids and you have grandkids. You have to go on. You are the leader of the family. We cannot be without you. We'd be so lost. And also, we teach young people how to grieve, right? So if they see us, oh Lord, I can't do it anymore, I can't do it anymore, that's okay for the initial part. But 4 years later, and you still not coming out of your room, that's a problem. You need to find a support group or a therapist or a counselor or somebody that can help you push through, because you still have a purpose, whether you want to know it or not. You still have a purpose. And if you have not completed it, you still going to be here, right? So you might as well do memorialization. Remember the person through, every year at this time we go to the lake, whatever they like doing, whatever their thing is, do something memorable. Okay. All right. And so my last one, haha, grieving is a lifelong journey. It sure is. Okay. It is very much a lifelong journey. Hi, Sophia. I will give you. So I'll give you that. So grief is a very lifelong journey. Like, it never stops. My brother's been gone for 15 years. Dang, 15 years. Whoa, I can't even believe that. 15 years now. My mom, 17 years. My birth mom since I was 16. Like, there's people, like my brother, though, was the most prevalent for me. My cousin Danny's been gone 2 years already. I can't believe that. He was very important to me. So many people were important to me. In my final chapter of my book, I talk about, I offer like resources and reminders that grief doesn't have to finish. It doesn't have a finish line, guys. It doesn't. It changes shape. But with the right tools like mindfulness, community, and compassion, you can walk forward with hope. Okay. So, you know, there's always a way through it, is what I'm going to say. So let's see who had a question here. Hi, hi, Norma Jean. How you doing, darling? Hey, Tony, what's up? So she said, what tips would you give if you feel that you are going through a rut? A rut, you mean after the loss of someone? Or what do you mean, just a rut? After the loss of someone, if you are going through a rut, the first thing I would say is surround yourself around people that love you, people that support you, people that will not let you just sit by the wayside. They just won't do it. They'll give you grieving room, but they're not going to just be like, yeah, let her stay there for 5 months and just be by herself. No. I'm one of them friends that bother people. I call it bother, but it's not a bother. I get bother you with love. I put it that way, right? Because some people I know to check on them. I don't know where I get it from. And some people, like even some of my brother's friends, since he passed, I check on them. They weren't my friends, but I check on them because I know he would want me to. And actually, he actually tells me to sometimes. No, I'm not crazy. I don't answer back to myself. But I check on people because that's what you got to do. Grief stays, yes, put in a new navigating. Yes, grief does stay with you. So yeah, if you're in a rut, the first thing I would say to someone, if you're in a rut, up your exercise game, your walking game. That's the first thing, because that's going to get your endorphins going and get your body circulating. And believe it or not, I come up with my best film scripts, books, whatever, when I'm walking. I try to walk like 8,000 steps a day minimum. But I can do 5 sometimes if I'm being lazy or if I'm back, depending on where I'm at, because some places don't have good walking space. So, on a bad day, I'd get 3,000 steps in. But on a good day, 8,000, 10,000 steps. I'd like to do 20,000 a day, but that's another story. That'd be like 7 miles, I think, 8 miles, something like that. But whatever. That helps. I'm telling you, just a little as walking. Another thing, if you're in a rut, get a journal, like something like this. I got this from a tag sale or something like that for $2. It's a great book, but it has all the stuff in it, tabs and whatever, little minders, whatever. Just get it at a thrift shop or somewhere cheap, and start writing. What you do, when the deeper you are in, the more you feeling, the more you start writing. Just write anything. Doesn't matter what you write. You can write about grief. You can write about the sunshine, about your hair, anything. Just write the silliest things. Because as you write, something will come into your heart and write it down. You might end up with a whole book of poetry. You never know. So that's another thing I would do. If you play an instrument, get on the instrument. If you like music, play music. Um, the point is, our brain, and I don't talk about this in the book, but this is just my counseling side. So our brains sometimes, how do we say it? It gets stuck, right? And to unstick it, we have to find untraditional methods, right? So if I'm in the middle of grief, that's a hard one to get out of, but it's not impossible. The catch is to get moving, get your brain moving, get yourself moving, and don't stay stagnant in one place. Because if you do, that's when you can go down the rabbit hole big time. Like that's my advice to anybody in a rut: is get up, get out, and do something. That's my and call a friend. If you got a friend, call a friend because that's where they're there. Or you just turn, hey Emma, hey girl, how are you? Oh, thank you, darling. Yes, always check on a friend, especially, hey, Emma, especially if I know that they just lost somebody. Oh, I don't care if you call me a pain in the butt. I got a couple people now I let them just be like, why is this girl DMing me again? I'd be wanting to call them, but some people I'd be like, I ain't kind of be that intrusive. But I'd be calling them, and some people I may not even be best friends with, but I'm someone that lost someone that felt like it was a child. So I know that feeling. So I'm going to call you. Yeah, I am. And if you get tired of me, just say, I'm tired of you calling me. And I promise you, then I won't call you at all. I'll be like, okay, no problem. Hey, Denise, what's up? Then I'll be like, okay, no problem. I won't be calling you no more. Okay. I was just trying to check on you. I done wore them out. Yes, exactly. I know. You one of them friends too. Yes. Yes. Real friends help it. Hey, Mike, what's up, Mike? Look at that. Look what the prodigal son then fell up in here. Yes. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. But yeah, you know, it's just losing somebody, a mom, a parent, your matriarch, your kid, your child. That is so devastating. Like I said before, we grew up with them or we raised them, right? So we have these identities surrounded by my brother was my life. Like everything in here was like, okay, so no matter what I did, okay, so if somebody said something crazy, just give me an example. If somebody said something crazy and I was not a Quaker and I wanted to be like, my first thought would be like, I can't do that. I might end up going to jail. And my brother would not have a sister. Like that's always my thinking. So it is hard. Yes, real friends can help each other. It's hard losing a sibling because of that reason. Like that's your identity. That's who helped you learn to stand up for yourself, to say, no, I'm not going to do that, or yes, I am, or whatever it is. They helped you get your grit. So Sophia said, what I find hard about grief is when you lose key people in your life. I'm talking about the quality friends versus the acquaintances, fair weather ones. Yes, it's hard. And yeah, even losing a friend is hard because again, when key people is the word, these people are key in our lives. They make up the storyline of our pick. We're painting a picture, right, of this life that we have, right? This is our Picasso of life, right? And in that picture, all these people are there, right? All these characters. So when one leaves, it's like, wait, what? Oh, wait, now I've got to look at this. Something's missing out of this beautiful painting. Something's missing. And it's a big miss. It is a big miss. I'm not going to say, thank you, Denise. She said anytime. I'm not going to say, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, mom. Oof. Losing a mom. Oh, don't even go there. But see, for me, because I grew up in foster care, it's a pinch different for me. Losing my brother was like losing my child. Losing my forever mom, that was hard. And that was just because, again, we build identities around these key people in our lives. That's really, if you break it down to like, what's so hard? What's so hard is like, my baby was my baby. Like I changed his diaper, I fed him, I took him to school, I trained him how to be to people, I trained him how to be a good person, I love them. That's the hard part. Now they're gone. So now as a mother, you've been a mother or father this long, or sibling so long, when they're gone, especially when there's no warning, like cancer or something like that, you just boom, heart attack, boom, like what? Or they off themselves, any of that. It's hard. It is hard stuff because we built our whole life around them. That's the hard part. But trust me when I tell you, if you do the work, I promise you it will get better. It's not, you're not, it's not going to be forever. You just have to do the work. You have to surround yourself around good people, a group of people. Go to a support group. If you really ain't figuring it out and you still sitting around depressed, let's say a year, 2 years later, like I was, I didn't realize it. Okay, I'll be honest. When my brother died, if I had thought about it, I didn't think about it. I didn't see no books about it. Only book I had read at that point was Frank Keebler. Oh, what is the name of the book? Okay, well, she wrote the best book I ever seen on death and dying. That was the best book I ever saw. And everything else was just stuff you learn when you're. I was just a few credits short of minoring in psychology, but everything else, death class. You learn. My mom did dead people's hair, so you learn through different counselors and through different people, from your loss, from your counseling. You learn from different people, and um, at that time, they didn't have the information available that they have now 14 years ago. Okay. If I had known all the stuff I know now, I could have just Googled how to get over the loss of my brother. And man, I would have came up with a bunch of resources. I didn't know that. So I put a little couple of resources, ideas in my book because I didn't have that. I didn't have no one to say, oh, you should be going to this. You should be taking that meeting. Because you could not have told me that I'd get through that. You couldn't have told me. You could not. Well, first of all, you couldn't tell me that I ever lived without my brother. That's the first thing, right? But look at me, I'm still here. 15 years later, I can't believe it. And yes, this is still hurt, just like yesterday, just like yesterday. But I learned that if I die, then I will not be able to complete my journey, which is a journey he knew about and a journey he wanted me to finish. So that makes it a double whammy if I don't. So you have to move forward. You have to go through whatever it is, as hard as it may be. You have to hang in there. Okay. So whoever is lost, hang in there. It's okay. If your mom passed, she gave you the tools you needed. Okay. She didn't just leave you out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? And even, unless she passed before you was a baby or something like that, she died in childbirth, then okay, you can't say that. But then she did do her job too, because guess what? Her job was just to get you here. Didn't mean she was going to carry you through. Like my mom. My mom's job was not to carry me through. Her job was to keep me for the first 5 years. She didn't do the greatest, not because she didn't want to, because of drugs and alcohol. And someone else had to do the job. So my mom did her job. She got me here. Okay. Because you have 1 in a million something chances of even getting here. So that's the part that you got to remember. You can't just give up. Yes, I feel you, but it gets easier. It does get a little. I think it gets a little bit easier, Emma. I mean, it's hard, especially if some things pop up. You're like, wait a minute, that reminds me of so and so. Like my brother told me before he passed a few days. Again, he told me all this stuff. If you ever see a butterfly, especially a monarch butterfly, colorful butterflies, it's me just checking on you. If I can tell you how many, the other day my grandson saw a butterfly in Ibiza, and he was like, Mima says every time I see a butterfly, it's Uncle Rob. I was like, trained him well. But seriously, I've seen so many butterflies, and it's just when I need them too. It's not even just random. It's like I'll be thinking I'm going back in my old space head, and boom, out pops a butterfly. And that's my brother's. And my brother was like that. He's one, as Kendrick Lamar say, pop out on, that's my brother. For me, he pop out on me, be like, hey, sis, so what's good? Or give me a call. What's good? What's going on? To make sure I'm not going into no left thinking, right? Left or right thinking, either one you want to call it. So you have to have a check system. You have to keep faith. You got to hold in there. Okay. So anybody else have any more questions? You guys are amazing. You guys are really amazing here. 10 key. Okay. So that's pretty much the grieving process. For anybody who missed it, I'll highlight it for you just so you'll see. 1, understand grief and its emotional impact. 2, understand grief. Oh, I did that so wrong. Oh, okay. Wait, I know it is. Understand grief. Okay, take that off. Now I'm going like this. Okay. The unique weight of losing a child. I did that wrong, the banner. Sorry. Listen, using mindfulness as a grieving tool. What was the other one? Meditation for healing. Honoring and memorializing loved one. Remember I said plant those trees, raise that money in the loved one's name, send it off to Gaza or to whoever you want to send it to, homeless, to gather up your old coats, send it to the homeless shelter, to the foster kids shelter, send me your suitcases. I can think of 500 ways of you to memorialize your loved one. If you are ever in doubt, please inbox me. I promise you I'll come up with something. And I'll even Google what's in your area for you to help out somebody, because there's no reason that we need to be sitting around, crying on the day of their death. We should be figuring out, okay, how can we make this good? How can we make this into something special? And I know it's not easy for everybody. I started a scholarship, I started a nonprofit in my brother's name. I know that ain't easy. I just happen to luck out and get it right the first time, but I know that's not easy. Maybe you can't do that. But it can be as simple as, I got $20. Okay, I'm making this up. Let's go on TikTok and find somebody who's in Gaza that needs the $20 right now. Boom, let's send it to them. And we're going to say it's in honor of our brother, Rob, who passed away in 2009 of heart disease. We love you. We're thinking of you. Here you go. Boom, $20. So now that $20 in your head, you know that you just helped feed a family for a week, okay? That's what that does. So you have to think like that. You can't be thinking like, oh, what am I going to do? Because you can't do nothing now. When our loved ones are gone, they are gone. They are ripped from us, taken from us, gone, however you want to call it, say it nice, however, they're gone. There's nothing we can do except for, get ourselves together, take as long as you need. There is no time limit, okay? It's ebb and flow here. Today is good, tomorrow's very bad. Next week's great, the week after, not so much. It's okay, that's fine. Nobody's telling you when you gotta be 100% better after losing your baby, after losing your mom or your dad or your husband you have for 40 years. Nobody's telling you that. Nobody's telling you that. We want you to take as long as you need, but I want you to utilize your community, your friends, your family, okay? You got somebody that really cares about you. And that's the person, people, the team that I need you to have, so that you're not sitting home. What I don't want is you sitting home and thinking about taking yourself out or doing something silly like drinking or doing, drogola. I said that for YouTube. I don't want you doing that. I want you to be clear-headed. I want you to be clear heart, clear mind. Meditate, okay? Meditation is everything, okay? Everything. I love meditation. Yoga, chakra healing. Put on some chakra. Type in on YouTube, chakra healing for, it could be for anything, ear infection, chakra healing for sad soul, type chakra healing for healing my inside. I don't know. There's tons of chakras, and your chakras are your different points in your body that help regulate you mentally, spiritually, or ground you, something like that. I don't know how to say it in layman terms, but trust me, look it up, okay? Meditation, yoga, do it at home. You don't need to go to no $200 a month gym. You can sit right at home, type in on YouTube, Mr. London workout or beginner's yoga. If you got back injuries, put a beginner yoga for back injuries. Boom, something's going to pop up free, okay? There's no reason. You can sit and do exercise in a chair. Yes, my seniors, okay? There's no excuse. The point of the exercise part and the meditation part and the writing part, whatever, reading part, singing part, music part, is to get your mind off of whatever that's bringing you so down at that moment that you just feel like you can't get out of it. When you're that down, do something. Get up, get out, and do something. That's what I tell you. When you're grieving that hard, don't be by yourself in the room. Oh, I'm just going to sit in my bed all day. No. You go talk to your mom, sister, brother, best friend, community group. Maybe you start a grieving group. You know what? I know 6 women that lost their children. I'm going to start I lost my child group. And what do we do in the group? We just talk to each other and support each other. If you live local, maybe we go have tea once a month, something local. Now together after this tea, what are we going to do? We're going to, you know what? I think I'm getting a little bit better because I feel supported. I feel loved. I feel like my community is there for me. You know what? Why don't we gather coats, once a year or if there's 4 women to go 4 times a year in the name of our kids' date of passing, right? something like that. So 4 times a year, we're going out to this, maybe make it into a nonprofit. There's 500 things you can do. I got ideas. I'm never short of an idea. So if you need one, you hit me up. When you're ready, hit me up. You got to take the first. If someone just passed, you need at least 6 months to a year to just process that. Just process. Then the next step will be after the anger, because I got pissed off for a while. Sorry, Lord. I got a little pissed off. I was like, why you take him? Why you take like Orange Hair or somebody or anybody else but my brother? Like, why is this guy still here? Like, what? So I was angry for a while. There's phases you go through, first shock, then anger, then is it understanding next? Grief. What is it? Anger. Oh gosh, there's a multitude of layers you go through before you get to, okay, I can breathe today. I think I'm going to go outside the door. Let me see what's going on outside. Because before that, I didn't even know what outside was. I did not care what outside. I didn't care about a job. I didn't care about people. I could care less. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. That's how mentally distraught I was. So I am not going to judge you because I was a hot mess. I feel bad. My daughter had to sit through that trauma of her mom. Like, who is she? Because I'm always inspiring people, lifting people up, and like, yes, we can do this. And for me to be like, I don't even want to go outside my house. Thank you very much. I'm perfectly fine here. I'll sit under a rock. I will do whatever I got to do under the rock because I don't care about whatever's. I was Pierre. I don't care. That little book. That was me. Oh, yeah, that was me. I'm not going to lie. So I don't judge you because I already know I was a hot mess. Okay. So if you're at that place, it's okay. It's okay. I got you. It's not a problem. Okay. Hit me, inbox me if you have a problem. If you still stuck on something, you need to work something out in your brain, hit me up. I am very good at what I used to do. Okay. I'm very good at what I used to do. And I love helping people. I really do from the bottom of my heart. It's not about money. I don't care about money. I never have cared about money, which is a shame. My mama, before she died, she told me, girl, you'll never be rich. I said, why, mama? She said, because you're always giving your money away. She's right. Okay. That's just what I am. I'm a giver. It's not even because I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I'll give my last. If I like you and I think you need it and I think you're going to win because of it, oh, you got it. You got it. No questions asked. I don't even have to. That's just me, not because I'm a sucker or nothing like that. I just love helping people. I like helping people feel empowered. That's what I like. Okay. And when someone dies and you lose a loved one, you feel like you've lost all your power because that's like you couldn't save them. Like we couldn't save them. But guess what? It wasn't our job to save them. Okay. Whenever the maker says it's time to go, your number's up. Let's go. There's no excuses. They don't care about it's my daughter, it's my son, it's my mom, it's my dad. They not that they don't care, but that they need them. They need them. Whatever happens in the next realm, that's what's going down. Okay. Death is a part of our life. What we have to learn is how do we grieve? That's what we got to learn. Okay. So we're on this. I'm getting there slowly but surely. Yes. Just get up. That's right, Emma. That's right. Get up, get out and do something. You have to. So 6, I was on. 7, I told you the power of community support. I did that. I did all those. Okay, that power of community was 1. Moments of joy, still possible. Yes, you can still have joy. There will be times, especially if you're around me, I don't care who you just lost. I guarantee you, I'm going to get a laugh out of you within an hour. One way or another, I will get a laugh out of you for something. There's little moments. You may think of a great moment. Someone may, like, I remember one time, thank you, Miss Yvonne. She sent me a picture of my brother, and it just warmed my heart. And she has been on my list ever since then. Ever since then, to think that this woman would just be randomly remembering that my brother passed and like, oh, I got this picture. Let me send it to his sister. What? That's the most beautiful thing somebody could ever do. So if you have a picture or some memory, even friends of the deceased, call the mother up and say, hey, how are you, Miss So-and-so? I just want to say hi and see how you're doing. That's it. That part's not my book, but that's something that's very real. You know what I'm saying? Call somebody up. Hey, what's up? Just seeing how you're doing. I just got a story for you. I wanted to make you laugh about something funny. Someone actually told me something funny about my brother. That was absolutely Hilarious. And I was like, man, I wish he was here so we could talk about this because I would never expect him to do that. It was actually funny. It was hilarious. But it was like, I was like, do you got any bad stories about my brother? And he was like, it's not bad. It's actually turned into good and it's actually funny. And I was like, oh my God, let me hear it. And it was. So there's things that you just, there is going to be happy days, happy moments, happy times. Just give me 1 second, accept it and enjoy it for that moment. Don't say, well, I can't laugh because they passed on and I may feel guilty because no, they want you to laugh. Do you think they want to see you up sitting up here crying? No, they don't want to see that. No, they feel, gratitude that you thought that much of them, but they don't want to see that. I don't believe in the afterlife. They want to be sitting up here watching you demise. No, they want you to be happy. So if you get 5 minutes of laughter, go to a comedy club, get your laugh on. If somebody gives you a free ticket, go. Nothing better than comedy. Okay. You got to learn to laugh in this life at some point. Because, man, if you don't, you be crying all the time. Okay. So don't feel bad. Okay. Good moments are still possible. Okay. What's another one? What was another one? Okay, creating a new normal. Yeah, creating a new normal. This you have to make the space for you and your kids or your family, whoever's left back behind. You have to make a new space for them. Okay, this person's not here anymore. What can we do in this day? So when we have these family dinners and they're not there, instead of boo-hoo, and what can we do? Let's everybody go around the table and share one positive memory they remember on Thanksgiving or Christmas, wherever holiday you celebrate, of so-and-so. Let's go. You go first. Or they could write it on a piece of paper and put it as a part of the table setting. And somebody has to read the other person's thing. Anything. There's so many ways you can incorporate them and not forget about them and incorporate them so that the young kids who are watching can say, oh, this is nice. We have a good memory of my brother. Or the ones who didn't know them as well will have good memories because this is the stories we're telling, right? So you can, make your own new normal. That's it. Make it. It's got to come down from you, the matriarch. And grief, again, last one, grief is a lifelong journey, people. It never, ever stops, okay? It will be, I've been 15 years. I want to say 15 years. Ooh, Lord. And Emma, a lot of people know who've lost siblings, lost family member. You've lost so many. We've all lost so many people. It could be for a long time. There's days where I'm still be like, now I don't cry as much as I used to because I learned how to. I've done it. I program myself so much now that when I go to that space of like, why is not I don't even get down that rabbit hole. But if I got down that rabbit hole, like, why is Robert not here? How come everybody else gets to live? He doesn't. Why are they here? When I go down that space, I don't even go that space anymore. As soon as it comes to my brain, I'll be like, okay, what do I got in my wardrobe that I can give away? And I go find somebody homeless and give them something. Say, here, this is from Rob. That's what I do. That's how I get them. Or I find somebody to donate to, or I call somebody so I won't be sitting down wallowing by myself. I don't stay in that space no more. So that's the good news about time passing, is that you learn to do other things in that space instead of, wasting it. It's not a waste, but instead of like, I don't want to be crying all day. I'd rather be giving money to a charity in his honor or something, or speaking about him to a homeless person, something. I don't know. It could be anything. You got to get up and do something. So anyway, guys, I've talked to you long enough. I thank you so much for joining me today on this episode. Grief is unpredictable journey, guys. Whether you're carrying the weight of losing a child, a sibling, or any loved one, it's important for you to remember that it's okay to feel the depth of your emotion. It's okay. The path toward healing may not look the same for everybody, but tools for like mindfulness, meditation, supportive community can help us move forward while keeping our memories alive. So if you're navigating this difficult journey, I want you to know that you're not alone, okay? And it's okay to seek help, whether it's through therapy, support groups, or simply leaning on the people that you love and trust, okay? Healing doesn't mean forgetting, but rather finding a way to honor your loved one while creating a space for joy, meaning, and resilience in your life, okay? Who's that? Oh, hey, God, thank you. I appreciate you. Um, breathing, moving, keep breathing, and know that there is hope, guys, even in the darkest times. I know it's dark, but it's okay. Until the next time, I want you to take care of yourself. I want you to take care of each other, okay? Remember, community is everything, okay? Community is everything. You can't do anything. I was just talking to my daughter the other day about, raising your kids. You need community. That's what's missing. You know what I'm saying? People that don't have a strong community, I think, end up more confused. I don't know. And I'm not just saying any community, because you can have a community and they be a mess. Okay, I'm sure Orange Hair had a community and some other people had community, but it wasn't a good one. When you can have a nasty community, I mean a community of love, light, positive, breathing life into your children. Right? Hey, what are you doing here? What do you need here? What can we do for you? Oh, he needs an internship. Let's make sure he gets an internship. Oh, he just lost his brother. What can we do? Let's see. Maybe what does he like doing? Does he like doing soccer, football? What is he like doing? Whatever. There's a writing group. I don't know. Whatever it is. There's a community how do I say it? The community keeps us together. Okay, not only our children, but the community. So when you're grieving from your husband of 30 years or 40 years, when you're grieving because you lost your daughter, you're grieving because you lost your sibling, your community, if they're sharp, they get on that phone. Okay, they get on. They don't do more than just an inbox. I mean, I inbox people only because I don't want to inconvenience them. But I try not to. If I can call you, I'm going to try to call somebody. I'll be like, listen, girl, I'm out at church. And I get it because I'm a long-winded. I get it. Okay, that's cool. But I try to reach people. Try to call people. That's what community does. So it doesn't have to be someone next door to your neighbor. But community means your friend, a group of friends, whether they could be all over the world. But they know, hey, Tanya just lost her brother, so we're gonna rally up. I'll tell you one thing that helped me when my brother died. God bless them, Frankie and Will. God bless you both. I will never forget you for this. Okay, when my brother died, they came and they were like, "You are not going to be alone." After the funeral thing was over, they were like, "Okay, so we're still just going to hang out and eat and do whatever together." They came back to my house and we had such a good time. I will never forget that. I will never forget. It was so needed. I didn't even know it was needed, honestly. And we never hung out back in the day. Well, Frankie sometimes, but we never hung out back in the day. But it was my brother's friends. It was like, I can't explain. So when your kid dies or your brother, whoever it does, whenever someone else is close to them, you feel close to them. Even if you're not, you feel like that's my fam, that's fam, because that's who they love, right? So I want to tell you, you can do little things. Yvonne, I'll never forget sending me the picture. Emma, I started talking to you more. There's so many people who I now integrate with more since my brother died than before, which is great. That's what you're supposed. That's community. People that pop back up and say, "Hey, wait a minute, we got our claws on you. We making sure you come out all right. We making sure you ain't going in no deep dive depression. We making sure that we got you." Okay. That's what you do. That's how you show people, and some people, maybe you didn't hang out with them, maybe not, but they're human. So just try your best to be there for people who just lost a sibling, a mom, a dad, a child. I mean, that's serious stuff. I mean, people could sink into a massive depression, and we don't want that, because guess what? Everybody is on this earth for a reason, okay? And has a divine purpose. So we don't want to feel like only us have the divine purpose, right? Because we all have one. Even people I don't like have one. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but even people I don't like, if I'm gonna be fair, as they say in England, to be fair, yeah, they have one too. Okay, so just remember that. That's so simple. Check on your friends. People that you associate with, check on them. If you know they just lost somebody, check on them. And if you can, buy the book, Mindful Grieving and the Journey of Loss, on Amazon. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can take this and put it in copy link address. And I'm going to give it to you here. I don't know if it'll work. Paste that. Wait, whatever I just posted. Did I do it right? Yeah, take it and paste. I don't know if I did that right. That looks so bad. Just click it and paste it into the search bar, and then it'll pop up. The book should pop up somewhere. Lord Jesus, somebody help me. All right, somebody help me. Yeah, I don't know how to put it the right way, but that's it. Mindful grieving in the journey of loss. Amazon, Goodreads, and I forgot where else. But share this podcast today, Spotify, okay, YouTube. Share it so that somebody, because everybody loses somebody at some point. Share it. Somebody needs the word, people. All right, and don't forget to stay watching our show and sharing, because I'm only here for one purpose, and that's to hopefully make us really realize what our divine purpose is and how we fit into this world, because we can't be keeping up with the Kardashians and all them people. I can't keep up with them. I can't. I will not. I do not compete with anybody, because I am me. I am myself, and I'm here. My reason to be here is to help you figure it out, while I also figure it out. We all figuring it out, okay? So don't wait, I'm trying to get rid of this thing here, and I don't know how to get rid of it. Okay, well, that's not good. Anyway, I can't get rid of this one thing that I put on here. I have no idea what I did. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys for being here. And what is that on the channel? Oh, I know what it is. Why is it up there? Anyway, I appreciate you guys for being here, and I will check you guys out. We will check you guys. Check us out next Sunday, 4 p.m. Okay, be there or be square. Okay, I'll talk to you soon, baby.